on.
Yep. And then we have Bruce as well. So he would have to be added on as well. But like I said, and CJ, I'll put this back to you. When it was approved, it was approved as the council, 2 of the council members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 were residents and 1 Board of Education member. So I'm not sure how that is set in stone or not. So
I'm just going to promote somebody to a board of education member and somebody else on here to a town
there
council.
you go. Perfect. So we'll so we can make a motion more or less then to bring in Matt and Bruce then, right?
How many town residents do we have right now?
We got 4. Yep. You got Neil, Ron, and Andres. That's 3. Oh, and Richard's 4. So
Is John no longer in there?
No, John is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. Yeah, we'll work that at the next meeting. We'll get to that.
All right. So so then do you want me to have, I'll give that to Kathy to put on the next agenda? All right.
Yeah.
So Stuart.
I posted on the Highlands group too. And one of my neighbors asked for more information. So I don't know with Rich on there and then also with Bruce joining, how many more spots do we want to fill?
I think we're probably full because we're going 1 over what we've got. But is it first off? Is it a male or a female?
Male.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was a female, I'd say they're in because
yeah,
we're kind of short on females right now. No. So if anyone knows of anybody, bring it up. But yeah, but you can always direct them also to Bicycle Friendly Farmington.
Yep, true.
So
the in our meetings are open, right? You just they out of voting.
Oh, that's true.
So,
sure.
Yeah. So we would take the input if they wanted to participate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't need to know that.
Comment.
And we could vote, and they could say aye with the rest of us, and they don't need to know that it's not counted.
I'm not going to say anything about that because I had a whole nother committee that got upset about doing that. So we're not going down that route.
So just a question, because the chief of police was on the committee at the beginning, right? Was he part of the original charter, or just?
Yeah, there's a chief of engineering services, which was Matt Bloom, chief of police, and there's a Board of Education staff member.
Okay,
so
and we've never,
non-voting.
we used to have 2 town council. We never had a Board of Ed, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
Not from lack of trying.
No, I know. Okay.
So, okay. So Bruce, number 2, potential pedestrian cycle connectivity.
Mm-hmm. Rich, do you want to? You had sent an email to Mr. Rep D'Amico.
Yeah, just to give you background, I had emailed him actually a couple of weeks ago about it had to do with TTT 884, I think, if I got it right. This whole state law that's being proposed, or a bill that's being proposed to, the way I look at it, to switch everybody to electric cars when it comes right down to it. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I had emailed him about that, and he replied back to me, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. So I had a conversation with him a couple of years ago, and then it fell by the wayside because of the pandemic. So I brought that back up with him, and then he replied back this morning. I saw it this morning. That he said he'd reach out to the DOT. So that looked promising. The DOT and the town manager, I think he said, right? In his email.
Yeah, we were having I'm just trying to open something here. I have a plan that we have from the CROG approved traffic study. All right. And what that is that shows a intersection improvement at the intersection of the jug handle. So it shows a 4-way crosswalk with crosswalk signals. It gets you with a center median. It gets you across the I-84 connector, gets you over to the other side of 84, or to the other side of Route 4 with a sidewalk type system for pedestrians. And if you wanted, you could be in a bike lane. That'll actually get you over the jug or through the jug handle at that point. That's an approved plan. now between the state and the town, we need to go out and get the appropriate funding for that.
Yeah, okay.
So that's another option. I just think that with that other option of going through Wolf Pit, I kept looking at the contours, and I'm not sure the state's going to be too keen on us trying to squeeze along the off ramp to get down onto Wolf Pit.
Is
So-
it just a steep embankment going down? Is that why we can't go a little farther?
And there's a big hill too, and there's a big hill to go up and over. So really, the only way you can get over that hill is if you run very close alongside the 84 off ramp.
I mean,
Down through there, and then it's a steep slope down into Wolf Pit Road.
would it kind of be like 384 in Manchester, where the bike path goes along the highway, or is it kind of?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I like that routing.
Are you talking about going up over where all the rocks are cut? Or
Yeah,
I was thinking about wrapping around those rocks because it seems like there's plenty of space.
well, exactly, but that actually slides you over towards the 84 off ramp. And like I said, it gets you very close to that off ramp. And I'm not sure if the state would look at that as a safety problem or what, but I'll try to touch base with some people and see what we can do.
Okay.
I would think as long as we're on the outside of the Jersey barrier, it shouldn't make a difference.
Hopefully, but it is the state. So,
But we get-
Yeah, I mean, like Andrew said, there's a lot over in Manchester. There's a lot of bikeways that ride right parallel with the highway.
and when I ride into South Windsor and I cross 291, I mean, you got a Jersey barrier and a fence. On top of it, on going across Connecticut River in Hartford, if you decide to go right along 84, I mean, that's a Jersey barrier and that's it. There's no fence.
mhm.
So there's precedent for,
Okay.
easy being right next to it. I mean, if they're afraid of cars being that close, I mean, they could just put the Jersey barriers up.
Now, Rich, now, just to clarify, you go down onto Wolf Pit, you go out to Birdseye, and then where do you go from there?
Well, I go if I'm going that way, I'll go the middle road towards Hartford.
So you would take Birdseye and then jump over to Middle Road. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see what we can do. Let me see what I can do.
And as far as the funding for things like that, any of these programs, ideally next year, some of all this federal money that's coming through can be directed to things like that. There has been some talk that they're looking towards anything that's green, anything that's getting people outside. So hopefully we can tap into some of that if it's coming to the
Good.
state.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, I could share the screen. I've got Google Maps up if you guys want.
Good.
But the host has disabled screen sharing.
I did. Oh, I like that. That's called power. That's called
At
power.
least he didn't make us wait in the lobby.
Oh, give me a second here. Oh, I gotta do this. Where is it up here? It's been a while. Give me a second. Oh, come on. Where is it? Not coming up here.
While you're looking for that, we use Teams at work and talk about power. Anybody in the meeting can actually mute anybody else during the meeting.
Ah,
I did it once when I heard snoring and I looked at the open mics and I muted it. And even better, you can actually kick somebody out of a meeting and they get a pop-up that said, you've left the meeting. Do you want to re-enter? And so they can come back in.
You're better than me. If I found somebody snoring, I'd be like, "So Neil, what do you think about that?" And crickets.
you should be all set, Andres.
Okay. All right. Share screen. There you go. Great. So Rich, so we're talking about right here in the jug handle. And we'd be going along. Let me zoom in. Pretty much just along the side here, you're thinking like that?
Yeah,
And then-
unfortunately,
and then connected.
I'm talking to you on my phone, so I can't
Oh,
see
okay,
your
I'm
screen.
sorry.
But it was basically wrapping right around the cut rocks, and then parallel with the on to 84 down to Wolf Pit. If that's
Yeah.
what you're pointing at. Sounds like it.
And then where, it looks like Wolf Pit and where the Wolf Pit makes the corner, I mean, it looks like there's maybe 50 feet between that and the shoulder.
Yeah, but there's a slope in there, and then there's that non-access highway fence that runs through there. So I'll take a peek when next time I'm down that area. I'll take a peek.
Yeah, it looks like it's only like maybe like a 200-foot stretch.
Yeah, but when you tap on the contours, that hill pretty much runs out there pretty almost
Oh, okay.
almost up to the 508. So,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, why don't we go on to old business?
Yep.
The porta potties.
Still on the list. I talked to Russ a few weeks ago. He said that they're still on the funding is in place, so he'll take care of that. He's been on vacation end of last week. Well, I was on vacation last week, and he's on vacation this week. He's coming back tomorrow, so I want to talk to him just to see an update if he's got a date yet for him. So.
And you got Laura the locations, and she gave it to the Trails Council, right?
I sent it to you. I sent it to Ron, so I'm assuming she did what she wanted with them. I didn't know that. I didn't know what she was doing with them.
Yeah, I think Ron did. Is that what you got? I thought she was presenting it at the Trails Council where our porta potties were. Okay.
You're on
Ron,
mute. You're on mute there, bud.
Neil muted you, Ron.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the way.
Okay. So we're good on that. Our spring report card
Yep.
from 2019.
Yep. Did anybody get a chance to know? Because I sent that out to everyone because they wanted to look at it again. So I'm not sure if anyone had any comments.
Any thoughts from anybody on that? Okay.
Okay.
No thoughts. We'll talk about it again next time. The newsletter, public service announcement, crosswalks.
Did everybody get their newsletter? I sent it out in the email too. She unfortunately she had to hook out. She had to take out some of the graphics because it didn't fit. Something about the town council chair sucked up the whole first page, so we had to get cut somewhere.
You will notice the first paragraph tells everyone to keep 3 feet and bicycles to be on the road.
All right, I'll
So
give
we
you
had
that one.
plenty of bike talk in this edition of the spring newsletter.
So we'll do that. And I think I have it. Do I have it down here? Oh no, I don't have it on there. And then we also talked about the next thing is I'm going to talk to the chief about getting the variable message sign installed out there, right on the 177 area, and reminding people using the crosswalks and careful and stuff like that. So I'll see once it gets a little warmer, spring is here, maybe he'll get that out for us. All right.
Good.
And if anybody has any other ideas for future ones, I think we talked about doing the 3 feet one next as well, and just some other ones. So if anyone has any ideas, feel free just to shoot something over to me and we'll add them in. Maybe we'll keep this every single newsletter. We'll get new things in for people.
Good. Wayfinder signs.
Chief, variable message sign. Hit a little bit of a snag with that. I'm an engineer. I'm not an architect. So the signs I came up with, Rose had met with the a couple of the architectural review committee members, and they're architects. They liked it, but they didn't love it. So they had some other ideas because they want to make it part of a standard, maybe doing a welcome to Unionville sign. We talked about all that stuff. So Rose has contracted with, or is going to contract with former Lona McBroom. They have an LA out there that did a lot of work on the trails down in the Naugatuck Valley, and they did a whole sign package for them. So she kind of told them what we're looking for. So he's going to put together some options, and then we'll meet together with the architectural review committee again and see if we can push this through. We've told them it's kind of the money is there, so we want to get this moved and get this in really quick. So hopefully everything works out well. So I'll keep you guys up to date on that.
But how much does an architect like subcontracting that out cost?
It wasn't, I mean, she didn't get the proposal yet,
A
but
couple $100 or?
it was, I mean, I want to say it was probably under maybe 1,000 at the most. I don't know. Like I said, I told her the same thing. She goes, we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to go that route, but it kind of got into a point of, you know, we'd be sitting there going back and forth. So they've already done that. So they actually suggested that we contact them. And so we'll see what it is. But hopefully they can come up with something nice. And like I said, I kind of laughed when they said it, but they kind of politely told us that it wasn't what they were looking for being downtown in Unionville, and they want something a little more mill-like. So they'll put something together. And like I said, I just told them the big thing is we want something that's easily interchangeable and replaceable. If someone hits the sign, I don't want to have to wait 6 months to order a special sign from somebody. And then if we want to start adding plaques on there with names of businesses or other services, I don't want to have to, again, look for this person and find out they don't make that sign anymore. So we're looking for something very easily interchangeable. So.
Okay, so we'll wait for you to get back to us on that for,
Exactly. Yeah. Rose was waiting for them to get back from this week. They didn't get back to her. So her and I said we would touch base on Friday. I was trying to get a better date from you guys for her tonight, but that didn't happen. So.
okay, well, whenever you get something, just shoot out an email. And if you got pictures, just send it out to the group. We can. all-
Yes, I will. So.
That actually, in the great scheme of things, makes sense. I was thinking about that. They've done a nice job with the lamp posts and the
Mhm.
things like that in town. They all look kind of the same, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So something that kind of coordinates with that might be nice.
I thought it did, but like I said, I'm an engineer. I'm not an architect. So.
Yeah.
But.
They just didn't like the bridge on the top.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, how about complete streets?
Any comments from anybody? Did anyone get a chance to go through it yet?
I was hoping we'd hear back from Bruce too on
Okay.
that.
All right. Because
Because he had said how they,
all right, we could see from him if everybody wants. Because the next step would be to get that to the Planning and Zoning Commission for them to review and approve. So next meeting is July 8th. So we can maybe if you guys want, maybe we could take care of that via email.
Okay,
If Bruce doesn't make it to the meeting, we can maybe do that via email. And then if we get everyone's consensus, we can get that over to the Planning and Zoning Commission to get that approved.
Right. What about Plainville bike study?
I saw something not too long ago. I guess there's going to be a big unveiling of something with Plainville. They're going to have a new announcement. I think. I don't know if it's on the construction or what. Did anybody see that?
I haven't seen-
Yeah, I don't know where I saw it, on Facebook or something. I saw something. I was like, oh, and they were setting a date, and I want to say it was June something for a big announcement.
If it was on Facebook, it must be true.
Yes, it is.
If it was on Facebook, I missed it.
All right, we'll see what's going on with that. Connectivity.
We talked about it on the Wolf Pit Road, and we have this in there. If anyone has any other ideas, we kind of just keep notes and we'll look at each one.
Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts or ideas or locations?
Any more progress with the building behind like where Acme Auto is and that development and connecting up to the bike path from there?
They're working on some site plan design now. They're gonna possibly they're looking to relocate some of the sewer lines, so it's taking a little longer. They're gonna be looking, they want to get up there soon to do some borings up on that hill in between the two bridges, because they want to see what they're dealing with the material there. They want to see if anything's contaminated. So I asked the board to give me a call directly and we'll work it out. I'll see, we're gonna have to close the trail down. So I got to work with them to find out when a good time is to close the trail down. put some signs at both ends and get them in there and get out. So it is moving along. I think there's been some hesitancy with, if you guys been following it, with the apartments of Farmington Avenue. So they're not quick to bring this back to the planning and zoning right now. I think they want this to go through,
Yeah.
make it get through, and then once that's done, then they'll submit their application. They definitely don't want these applications going in at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
You don't want to get unintentional backlash.
no, exactly. Especially having it down by the river. So,
Right. Neil, we've talked a few times about the Connecticut. How far into the neighbor's property would access have to go, do you think? If there was any discussions and if they were willing to let space connect Connecticut to the trail?
I don't know, because I haven't been back there to really scout it out.
Yeah.
I do know that there's kind of a beaten path through the woods, because people used to, when we were in the office, people would go through there at lunch hour to run and stuff. The trail kind of right now has a nice gradual curve to it as you go around towards, is it Hyde Street or whatever that is, with EBM's parking lot off to the right. There is a lot of land there that's fairly flat. So I would think that if you get just through the woods, you could probably build the path up and connect it that way. I don't think the hill is real steep there, but I'd have to go over on a scouting mission.
yeah, I know there was always talk in the past about between you and EBM and allowing some kind of interconnection path between the parking lots, but I think that never panned out. I don't think they were really keen to that,
Yeah.
So,
Well, I would think that like a walking path between the two parking lots would work, not a driving path, but.
Yeah.
And it's not like anybody would want to drive deeper into the industrial park from Route 6. So it's not like Connecticut would be using EBM,
Right.
and Hyde's pretty convenient, but.
Next time I'm down that way, I'll scout around a little bit and see what the grade is and stuff like that.
And so a gradual slope from the corner of the parking lot up to the bike path that's too much at the end of the parking lot against the bike path.
I think at the end of Connecticut's parking lot, it would be a pretty steep slope. But if you can get through the woods to the EBM side, that's when I think it starts to flatten out.
yeah, we had looked at the access point in your area by your parking lot, and you would need like a double tiered retaining wall system to get anybody up there. So,
Hey, Bruce, when's the last time anyone had a conversation with EBM? Has anyone had it from the town, or is it just potential?
I think probably the last on the bike trail, probably was the last one was Matt, when Matt had gone through with putting in the bike trail at that point, and I think they were very, I don't think they were very keen on it in the beginning, but now that it's been installed for 2 seasons now or so, they probably are getting a lot of their employees are probably into it, and probably are using it quite often.
Yeah.
So
It might be worth reaching out to them again. That's, and that's the story of the trail. Everybody that lives on the trail thinks it's going to be horrible, and then the trail shows up and they all love it. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the same thing. Okay.
is that something you think that we should try, or is it something you think that Connecticut could reach out to EBM, which is easier, Neil, you think?
Connecticut doesn't own that property. We rent it.
Yep.
So I'm not sure that we're the right people to reach out to it.
Okay.
Either the landlord or the town.
But if we were asking, Connecticut would actually, I assume would provide some kind of a letter of support or something like that, I assume. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'd be very interested in that.
All right. Maybe I could set up something with Mr. Asta. I think he's the plant manager down there, and kind of just touch base with him.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure who owns our property anymore. It was one of the Tomaso groups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
sold it.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to scan over to it now.
I know they were trying to sell it, but I don't know if because all of a sudden our phone started ringing. We heard Connecticut is being sold. Oh no, just the building. But that was a couple of years ago.
Let's see who's up. it goes right here. Farmington Realty LLC.
Yeah, but isn't that a Tilcon Tomaso
It
company?
used to be, yeah, but sometimes they buy the name though, you know, the company, whoever it is.
Gotcha.
You know what? I'm gonna say they still own it because this goes back to 2005. So
Okay.
it must be us still them. So
Yeah.
so I'll touch base with, let's start with EBM. Let's see if they're on board with it, and then from there it'll be discussion of costs, so that we can bring the property owner in on that.
Yeah.
You know.
Good.
Okay.
That'd be a great access to have. I mean,
Yep. Okay.
once people actually start showing up at work again.
Yeah.
That, you know, I didn't think about that. I forgot about that.
And now's the
Clean up the-
perfect time to do it. You do it and
Yep.
it's really quiet.
Yep.
Really
Yeah.
bothering
Okay.
you. So,
Yeah.
okay. And that's everything we've got on the agenda. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up? Any other business?
The last time we talked about access to the river from the trail going north, right? Andres was gonna try to scout out a flatter path down. Have we
Yeah.
made any-
So I did scout that out, and went and flagged it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Two possible routes. And so the two options we have are, you know, kind of, instead of making that hard left to go down the hill, you would kind of go straight into the woods, which is east.
Yeah.
And then kind of turn to the left and kind of ride that slope down behind. There's a hill between, you know, the existing path and where this would go. And then to kind of make it more gradual at the bottom, it would kind of cut across the path, maybe, 10 feet towards the bike path hillside and then back in. And that would reduce the grade a lot.
What color did you flag it with?
It's pink, just pink plastic tape.
Okay.
And so tried to keep it fairly not super obvious. I mean, it's not like it's got, foot-long banners hanging from a tree every tree. The other thing that I found is there's actually, if you keep going another 50 feet, there's a bench, and right inside the bench, there's an existing, looks like an abandoned roadway. And that runs, it's graded nice and flat. And, that continues in, probably quarter mile, half mile, maybe. And, and so that's really obvious. It's graded nicely. There's no big trees in the way or anything like that. But what you run into is, how do you get from there towards the river? It never makes a turn towards the river.
Okay.
So I flagged that one too,
Okay.
at least to get onto it. I don't know if maybe from that would take you to the back where, the mulch is or something like that. But, there are two options. And I took a video, but the videos were too big to email.
Okay.
So if you're interested, I could send it up to Dropbox or something like that.
Yeah. Just send me the link. I'll
okay.
take a look at it. You know why? Because I have a feeling I'm going to go out there and not be able to find all your pink. So if I
Yeah.
get an idea of what's going on.
If you're looking for it, you'll see it.
Mhm.
And then, so whether, you're at the bottom of the hill, you make a quick right into the, there's bramble thickets, and then it cuts back across to the left side of the trail, the east side of the trail. And then it kind of goes up the hillside that way.
All right.
So.
Okay. I'll take a peek.
Yeah.
And the only other thing from last time was I brought up fencing. I haven't been able to, I've been on the trail a lot, but I haven't stopped and taken notes, but I have some ideas. So I'll try to have that documented with pictures and everything for the next meeting.
Yeah. And then I know that Bruce said he has that document on I think he sent it to me on the fencing. He did a.
Yeah.
he did
Yeah, I
a
started to
tech-
go through that too.
Yeah. So. And I know they've been replacing, or they replaced a lot of it along between the River Road section. So.
So tomorrow, Noah Wallace Excel program was supposed to have a bike rodeo. And with the rain and the snow, it's unfortunately been canceled, and I've got a very disappointed 5-year-old on my hands. Has the town ever done something like that with, through Parks and Rec or?
No,
I know I've done, growing up, I had one where I grew up in New York,
Mhm.
but it seems like this would be kind of a fun, town-wide activity, whether it's done at like Tungus Mead where you've got the ramps and stuff, or it seems like it'd be kind of neat and a fun way to get, families together and into bikes with the town.
Actually, it wouldn't be bad. I mean,
More than education, but.
I mean, it probably wouldn't be bad to roll it into one of their the summer education or recreational programs they do,
Yeah.
Do you,
Do a Saturday from like, 9 to 1 or something.
now, is that something you think you could help them with?
I've got no idea
Okay.
how, but I suppose I could volunteer a day.
Well, no, I just, maybe they need a little help getting it started or finding the right people to help them get it started because they may not know even how to get it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could
So
do
do
something.
we tap into the people that know Wallace that we're setting it up?
I don't know. I'll ask.
All right. And then they can you or they can contact Jeff Porter directly. He's with the Parks and Rec. He
Okay.
handles all that stuff. So they can contact him directly and go through there.
Yeah.
That would be the best avenue to get that going, I think.
And I was thinking like that probably makes more sense than doing it at Winding Trails.
Yeah.
And then on May 1st, I know that you got the CCAP fundraiser
Mhm.
At Winding Trails. So
I just Googled bike rodeos on online, and there's all kinds of kits out there,
oh, cool. Okay.
organizers guides and
Okay.
toolkits.
So Neil's a pro on bike rodeos now. He Googled it, so.
Yeah.
Thanks for volunteering, Neil. I'll be your deputy.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's
And I heard there's also, I think on May 2nd, there's a mountain bike race at the Connecticut Horse Guard too, in Avon.
Wait, what is that?
I think there's a mountain bike race at Connecticut Horse Guard up in Avon on May 2nd.
Okay.
for kids or adults.
Everything.
Really? That's a great spot.
Yeah. I know Cheshire Cycle's putting that one on.
And well, Andrews, if you get any information from the folks who are starting this at Noah Wallace and any more details, just shoot out an email to the group and we'll see what we can, if we can help. And Jeffrey would be the guy, Jeffrey Porter. So, we can talk to him and grease the wheels, as it were, if we need to.
And if he can't do it this year, at least he's got it in his mind. He can start thinking about planning for next year, or there's some other route he could actually throw this in too. So,
Yeah. Good.
all right.
Okay. Anything else?
7:10.
Okay. Well, guess
Meeting
that's a wrap. When's our next meeting gonna be?
I have it down as July 8th.
Are we doing anything for or bike friendly Farmington for bike to work day? Bike to school, safe routes to schools, things like that.
And I almost got to the end of the meeting. So bike
Yeah,
friendly.
we're gonna be delivering donuts and muffins door to door because nobody's working anymore.
I almost hate to, so bicycle friendly Farmington is about a handful of people right now. Blame it on the COVID if you want, I don't know, but we aren't getting participation for meetings. It's almost a 2 or 3 person show and it's kind of depressing right now. Planning a meeting and then having no one there. And so I'm kind of done holding hands. I'm gonna still chair it and do what I can, but we even have a subcommittee to come up with our 503C. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Nonprofit. And I don't think they've met yet. And, you know, we can't get little tasks done. And we've kind of come to a bit of a standstill. And like I said, it's just too much hand holding. I've got too many other things going on to kind of babysit as much. You shouldn't have to with adults. And so,
Yeah.
Just going to kind of see what happens. You know, I haven't pursued the bike to school, and we can't do anything without insurance. So come to find out, we should not have any of our rides without being a nonprofit and insuring myself and the one other board member. The Wednesday night rides we're going to continue because somehow through the League of American Bicyclists, we can incorporate that. We can teach at the beginning for 5 or 10 minutes about bike safety and then ride, and we can be insured through the league for that. But something like the Pedal Jam or any other on bike event where, you know, except for Bike to School, I guess would have been covered by the town.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything, so I'm not sure if it's even too late for that, or like you were talking about the bike rodeo. I would love to raise my hand because I'm a trained instructor, and I know Doug has done them in the past at the Adorno events, but it's a really big undertaking. I know that much.
Okay.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And I was not involved in that part of it for the Adorno ride. So I don't have
Is that Doug who did that?
What's that?
Is
During the school day, we don't have Laura, who's on our board, and she's the vice president of the Trails Council. She's pretty experienced with stuff like that.
and Ron, who's that? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you're muffled again.
Oh.
What was the question, Andrews?
Who is the person that's done the bike rodeos before?
Former Vice Chair Doug Gerlach. Gerlach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not involved on BFF anymore? No. Okay.
Hasn't told us, but he's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with like the Safe Routes to Schools, you know, the only reason I brought it up is if our next meeting is in July, you know, I'm afraid we're going to come back here and say the signs are almost figured out and the porta potties just got delivered, and then that's going to be, you know, our accomplishments for half a year. You know, like longer term things on safe routes to schools. You know, it comes down to sidewalks. And, you know, do we want to focus on that and say, hey, you know, let's come up with, you know, every year make progress with one route or something like that. I mean, you can't do it all, but, you know, pick a school and get it set up. And I don't know where, you know, how that affected our league score, you know, but, you know, if you can't bike to your elementary school, it's hard encouraging kids to bike.
Like the one standing behind you?
Just appeared out of nowhere.
Well, do you want to try and have a meeting on May? Because we might get some clarity on the signs for May, and we might that might be worth our while.
I mean, it could be a quick meeting. You know, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Look, we're
Yes,
coming in under an hour for this one, so we're doing pretty good.
Let me see here. That's going to be.
You know, but I'd like to make some progress with the Safe Routes to Schools.
Yeah.
The second Thursday is the 13th of May.
And that's budget referendum day, I believe.
Is
Is
it?
it?
All right.
Says on my calendar.
So that means you've done your work already and then you just sit and wait that day, right?
That's right. Actually, they're still going to be out voting, so there's nothing to do until the votes start coming in. So,
So we could do the week before or the week after. That would be the
I mean,
20th.
we could actually do that day as long as everybody who showed up has already voted. Otherwise, I'm going to harass you.
I'm just checking
Or-
the calendar.
Or we could always kick it to the Tuesday of that week, you know what I mean? It's before the
Well,
referendum,
it
it's
is-
up to you, you know?
I thought the referendum was in April.
Wait a minute. I'm
Is
wondering.
that-
If I got my. Hold on.
Yeah, because Ed's asked me to count absentee ballots on April
Wait a minute.
20.
I might be look. You know what that might be on there? That might be a second referendum issue.
Yeah, if it comes to that.
Yeah. Well, when is the referendum? That's a good question.
I'll tell you right now, let me just go to
Yeah,
the calendar.
Check the town
right.
newsletter.
It's right. Can somebody read what I wrote in the newsletter and tell me when the referendum is? It is the 29th. Why don't we have it that Thursday? Because that's only if this one fails.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if
Yep.
we get
Okay.
10% of people to show up for this referendum, I'd be shocked.
All right. So that's, yeah. So it's the 29th. Just check that in the calendar. And you want to shoot for the 13th of May?
Yeah.
All right. 13th special meeting. All right.
Okay. Good.
Sounds good, sir.
All right.
Susie, I got an unrelated question when the meeting's over, if we want to stop recording.
All right. I'll call the meeting to order or adjourn the meeting at 7:18. Sounds good.